So it's Friday the 14th of June 2024 and it's wet. It's been wet every bloody day, it almost seems, for the whole of the year. But I'm annoyed because I thought I'd done one of these last June, because the whole point of doing these videos is that I can compare the garden 12 months later to see whether it's got better or worse or what's happened to plants, and I didn't take one in June last year, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. That said, I've had a look at July's and realise how lousy I am at doing these commentaries, so but I did say it was always for me and nobody else, so if you don't like it, then I'm afraid there's not much I can do about that. Tetrapanics gone absolutely mad. I've started to cut some of the lower branches down. I've seen some of these as trees really, and what I noticed is if you leave the branches on, they cover everything else. So I've started to cut those back. The Persicaria red one is great. The New Zealand fern just continues to impress. The dahlias have started to come up, and those toad lilies have really grown this year. They've really started to sell seed. Lots of stuff coming up. I've been really disappointed. I don't know, it's just me, but everything just seems to have taken so long this year. I've got that said, I couldn't see many of the alocasias or colocaceas last year at this time, but they just, everything just seems to be growing so slowly this year. There's an Enseti in there. The cannas are okay, but when I look back at July last year, I still think we're way behind. I don't know whether everybody's found that. I've done a lot of weeding, a lot of mulching. I mean, that's what's that? A Colocasia there, a Colocasia escalanta. You know, it's no size at all. I would have thought that would have been a lot bigger by now, but hopefully it will take a big spurt. We just haven't the heat. Got lots of other stuff in there this year. Put some zinnias in. Went a bit mad on seeds because I get bored in the winter. Ridiculous place to put a Lichinis, so that's definitely going to move next year. Looking back on these videos is great, and if I could recommend anything, and trust me, I'm lousy at this, it would be take some pictures from last year and see what worked and what didn't. The sunflowers have survived, the bloody slugs. I never get less than 50 slugs or snails out of this garden in a night, and one record a couple of weeks ago after it rained was 182 snails and slugs. I don't know, but they are, I think they're diminishing. Then I get days like that. So around the back of the wall, this is coming on great. I'm so pleased with this. This was the dead area. I'm really pleased. So I started to plant some vegetables as well. The strawberries are coming on well. I think I might have one down the end of the garden. The tomatoes are just starting to appear, and I also thought, sod it, I'll chuck some vegetables in here as well, because I normally never have room for cabbage. Don't bother with stuff like that. And again, at night time I'd normally pick about 20 or 30 slugs out of this area here, but I've put in some lettuces and more strawberries there. Lots flowering on there. The first one to flower was right down the end, but I'm really chuffed with this because it was just an area of nothing, and here we are. So how's this gone? These were the first ones to flower. There's a bit of fruit there, but I've got some of these strawberries elsewhere in the garden and they're all really small. Maybe it's just me and I'm lousy at growing them, but when I see the stuff that's in Sainsbury's and the rest of it, I realise how useless I am. But the fruit's going well. I did notice a raspberry somewhere here. I'm not expecting much out of them this year, but it'd be great if we do. I'm just really pleased with the way it's all come out. There's some berries starting to appear on the original bushes now, so I think that's going to be great in sort of 6 or 8 weeks' time. The greenhouse, I bought 72 plugs from Thompson and Morgan for about 20 quid about a month ago, and I thought they came in they were the smallest plugs I've ever seen in my life. They were like the top of my small finger, but I replanted them. I wonder if I could find the things that they came in. Oh, there they are. So these are the These are the actual trays, or whatever you call them, plugs that they came into. They're tiny, and there were 72 of them, and I planted them up and thought, oh, they'll all die, and blow me down, look, there they are. So I've got loads of stuff there. Geum, whatever the hell that is, I've never heard of most of these things. Obviously delphiniums I've heard of, aquilesias I've heard of, digitalis. So I've got 72 plants of echinacea there to grow, and lots of the small bulbs and cuttings I took last year have worked well. Also got 5 colocasia bulbs from Lidl or one of those supermarkets. Stuck them in the pots and just be really interested to see if they grow. Little Brugmansia cutting, that's flowering more than it is in the garden, and lots of salads. So they're all going really well. I'm kind of reinvigorated on the salad front. I've got a couple of peppers growing, which I'm normally useless at. And then, despite saying I'd never grow vegetables again, couldn't resist sticking a few beans in. They seem to be fine, but again, they're loved by the slugs. And in the back here, where I've planted, the new bed is coming on great here. I'm really pleased with this. I mean, that's brand spanking new. That was only started, well, you know, earlier this year, and that's coming on beautifully. And there was a space here, so I've just stuck in some a few more salads, beetroots. Got some Lolo Rosso growing there, and some potatoes. But I really am useless at this stuff, so it's great. It's great to see it. It's great to see it grow. So I'm still as enthusiastic. I even stuck some lettuce on the wall there. If I find a gap anywhere, I'll just stick a bit of lettuce in, and the family is sick to death of eating it. The fruits continue to disappoint, although it looks as if we may get some blueberries off that this year. Great success again with the Buddha, looking really happy. Some lovely growth in this part of the garden. The large honey bush I replanted here. I lost that one earlier. I also noticed, looking back on that video, that there was another couple of large shrubs, I can't remember the name of them now, that didn't come back. But I'm interested to know what's going on here. All my apps tell me that that's called buckwheat, but they look like the seedlings from the ricinus, so I'm going to let them grow and see what happens. Definitely doing more feeding. I'm doing far more feeding this year, and that's certainly working in terms of the climbers, the clematis. You know, it's probably 10 times more flower on it this year than there was last year. I've planted a number of different ricinus, different colours and so on this year. The dahlias are okay. Again, there's that Brugmansia, but I can't see any flowers on that. Everything else seems to be going really well. The blacks, I think it's called Sambucus, the elder, that's been fantastic this year. Fortunately, I've just left it lie there because nobody can sit out in the bloody garden because of all the rain. The lilies have been fabulous. Had a really, really great display of lilies this year. They look fantastic. However, the bad news is this sago is still looking sick, and this one is just about had it. I'm not going to give up on it yet. The centre of it is still hard. It's not gone soft, so I'm going to stick with it, keep feeding it, and see what happens. Fortunately, we're drinking much more wine, so we can replace the plastic bottles in those clay watering things with proper bottles. This Aeonium has just gone loopy. That's grown by a factor of about 6 in the last couple of months. This is very disappointing. These cannas, I mean, there are some there, and there's one coming up there, but they were massive in July last year, and I can't see those coming up in a month. My little water feature. That's great. The planters are great. Got some good stuff coming up there. The Enseti I brought up onto the patio, and the lemon tree that was dying last year is doing really well. I think that's the red wine bottle will help that one. So the planters, again, I've cut tons of stuff out from here. They've done well, but I'm disappointed. There's not enough colour. So when I get some of those other perennials out of the greenhouse later, a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to put a lot of those in here and try and brighten these up with a bit of colour. I took a lot of stuff out, but generally I'm disappointed. But all in all, yeah, it's okay. I'm happy enough. I mean, I love the garden. It looks great, but it'll be very interesting to see what last year's video does compared to this one. Hope you enjoyed it.